Hey everybody, John, you're here in Maryland K-12. Looking at cell phone policies again. School's getting ready to start, and the Delmarva Parent Teacher Coalition the other day put out an article. I thought it was pretty well done. Just a pretty descriptive article about the fact that the law was passed requiring everyone by 2027-2028 school year to implement a policy, basically a bell-to-bell, no access to social media, this kind of stuff. And look, most schools have had these policies in effect all along. It's just now the state wants to chime in and say, look what we're doing, but that's a different topic. Just about all the jurisdictions have chimed in and they have policies, and they're all pretty much the same. It's a handful that do not have them, but they kind of zero in on this one policy as an example from Talbot County, which is supposed to be, according to them, one of the strictest in the state. They have to remain stored and unused, and not to be used in class, transitions, during lunch, free periods must remain stored, this sort of thing. So they're going all out and saying, we're not going to allow them at all. And they, as in their article, the author of this article says that they've been talking informally to some of the teachers. And, I've had a few conversations with them as well. And the fact is, they say the same things that teachers have been saying about these types of policies forever. And that is, if it's not going to be equally enforced, it's worthless. And here's what they say. Here's their offenses. This is Talbot County. First offense, phone taken to office. Second offense, parent has to pick up. Third offense, referral, parent has to pick up. Fourth offense, office referral, student must turn in phone daily. That all sounds great. How are you going to enforce it? What are you going to do when the kid says, no, you're not getting my phone? Something else that happens in these things is, you say, all right, that's it. You're all no, whatever. Give me your phone. Kid says, no, you're not getting my phone. That's another one. When the parent says, I can't come up, I'm working, I don't get off till 6 o'clock, and I have to be in by 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, please do me a favor, just give it to them, I'll make sure. And they usually go, oh, okay, here's your phone. And then they tell the other kids, well, they didn't make them come pick them up. They didn't make my parents come pick it up. They just gave it back to me. And then it starts breaking down that way. It's lots of other things. But the other one they spoke of, and they said they questioned, teachers that is, they questioned whether or not administrators are going to follow through on disciplinary actions. Same principle. And the other thing is whether or not, in that all classrooms need to buy into this policy. See, that's another one that they generally don't tell you. All teachers, all classrooms have to buy into it. You go to classroom A, teacher's strict, teacher's going to enforce the policy. Classroom B, teacher doesn't really care, or they want to be the cool teacher. They want to sit back and let the kids do what they want to do. The kids love this teacher. They don't like this teacher. She's too strict. He's easygoing. And then the administrator, see, here's what happens, is the administrator, they get kind of caught in the middle, and then that gives them an excuse to go, well, if they're going to say one thing and he's going to say something else, how am I supposed to enforce these rules? And then the administrators start to back off of it. And then it slowly breaks down. Just like hats, just like kids wearing hats in schools. You go in some classes, kids all got the hats on because the teachers don't care. Go in other class, nobody has a hat because the teacher. And then the administrators start and get referrals from one teacher for something, and then they don't get referrals from the other teacher for the kids doing the same thing. The kids know this. And it all breaks down. It's just, I don't have an answer, but I'm telling you, this is this types of thing. You're either going to enforce it or you're not. And ultimately, what it comes down to is they're either, the last thing on the list there is to be suspended. But in many cases, they say students will not be suspended for this. Kids know that. They know you can't get suspended. It's just, it's a mess. And I don't have an answer for it. It's a tough one. But if you're going to zero in, you're going to make the policy, by golly, enforce the policy or don't have it. Just my opinion. Let me know what you think. I think overall, the fact that they're addressing them, I think is a good thing. I'm just not sure whether this is going to be effective, and it's all about state control. Just my opinion. Thanks. Have a great day.